How to play Paleo. 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. Playtime 45 to 60 minutes. Paleo is a cooperative game where players control groups of people in a tribe, fighting to survive the Stone Age together. Players simultaneously choose cards from the decks, reveal them, and work together to resolve actions and avoid deadly hazards in order to collect victory tokens to complete their tribe's painting. If the entire tribe is able to collect 5 victory tokens, completing the cave painting, you all win. But beware, if you suffer too much and gain 5 skulls, you all lose. Components: Base Camp, Wilderness, and Night boards. The Graveyard, Workbench. Cards consisting of the base deck, humans, dreams, ideas, secrets, modules A through J, and some blank cards to create your own custom module. Resource tokens, tool, damage, skull, and victory tokens, and 2 dice. Setup. Paleo has multiple scenarios that you'll be mixing in with the base game, so please refer to the rules supplement, choose a scenario, and collect those module cards. For this video, we'll be setting up Scenario 1 with modules A and B. Place the 3 boards, resources to the side, and 5 food in the base camp. Place the workbench along with 5 each of the basic tools, torches, stone axes, and spears. Then place the rest of the tool tokens in front. Put the graveyard next to the bench. Shuffle the people, dreams, and ideas separately and then place them on the base camp. Put the skull and victory tokens next to the night board. Shuffle the base card deck with the modules you have chosen for this scenario, then deal out the entire deck to all players. Don't worry, some people are going to have more cards than others, but that's okay. We're all in the same tribe. Each player draws 2 people cards and places them face up in front of them along with their corresponding starting tools. Since we're setting up for Scenario 1, place mission cards A and B face up at the bottom of the night board. Secret cards 1 and 2 and the tent idea card along with the tool tokens into the workbench. Gameplay. Each round has a day and night phase, which are repeated until you either win or lose. We'll get to that in a second. Day phase. During the day phase, all players will simultaneously look at the back of the top 3 cards in their deck. Choose one and place the other 2 back on the top of your deck, then everyone reveals their cards at the same time. Be sure to discuss with each other what the tribe needs before you choose your card, but ultimately you get to decide which card to play. There are different types of card backs which will give you hints about what the other side might have on it. Forests usually provide wood and food. Rivers have food and pelts. Mountains have stone and pelts. Red cards represent hazards to your tribe. And people, dreams, and ideas will always have something helpful. Some also have icons that will reveal extra information about the card. Once everyone has chosen a card, reveal them at the same time. Then each player will choose an option on their card to resolve, but the tribe can decide what order to resolve the cards. Repeat this process until either all the cards have been played, causing each player's group to go to sleep, or you can go to sleep early by discarding the rest of your cards face up on the wilderness board without looking at them. Don't look at them. Once everyone is asleep, the night phase begins. Night phase. Now that everyone's asleep, it's time to eat. I guess that makes sense. Or maybe you eat and then go to sleep? I don't know, maybe they're sleepwalkers. Each player must feed every person in their group from the base camp supply. Sharing is caring, y'all. For each unfed person, you add a skull to the night board to make sure they get their mates. Be careful because if you have 5 skulls on the night board, the game ends immediately and everyone loses. After everyone's fed, you must resolve mission cards by choosing one of the actions under the moon symbol. For example, you must pay 3 meat and a pelt, or you have to add a skull token. You also have to add a tent or add another skull token. So remember to make sure you gather enough food and supplies during the day to both feed your people and fulfill your missions. A new day. Shuffle all the face down and face up cards together from the wilderness board and deal them out to all players, then start a new day phase. Ending the game. If everyone together collects all 5 victory tokens, completing the cave painting on the night board, you all win. Yay! However, if you collect a 5th skull on the night board, the game ends immediately and everyone loses. If you somehow collect the 5th victory token and the 5th skull in the same action, you still win. Yay! People cards. Each person card has a title, set number used during setup, a one-time tool which you receive when the person joins your group, abilities that can help you perform actions on other cards, and health. Each time a person is wounded, cover up an empty heart space. If there are none left, you must cover up the skull space. This person is now dead. Put them in the graveyard and add a skull token to the night board.
Oh, not Barry.
If all the people in your group have died, immediately draw a new person card and add them along with any starting tool tokens face up to your group. Now you have a new group with a new person.
Nice to meet you, Jerry.
Action cards. Action cards can list multiple options, but you must choose only one action to resolve. Or you can help another player if you see this symbol, or simply ignore the card.
Bye.
For example, trees has 3 options. If you have 2 skill symbols in your group and discard 2 cards from the top of your deck face down in the wilderness, you get 3 wood.
Yay!
If you don't have 2 skill icons, you could instead just discard the 2 cards to get 1 wood.
Yay.
But beware, if you discard any red back cards to pay the cost of an action, your group suffers a wound for each card.
Ow!
If you see this symbol, you can instead help another player resolve their card. We'll discuss help in the next section. If you chose and resolved any of the 3 options, discard it face up in the wilderness. If you don't like any of these options, you can simply ignore the card and discard it face up in the wilderness. Help. Helping another player. This option on an action card allows you to help another player resolve their action. You can apply your people's abilities to meet requirements, suffer damage for them, and split the rewards, even if they didn't need help and they just want you to have the reward.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
However, you cannot discard from your deck to help another player.
Oh.
You can spend tool tokens to help, but you can't trade it with other players. Multiple players can help another player at the same time.
Yay!
Help a card. If this symbol is inside a gray action box, it is instead a requirement. You must use the help action on another card in order to help this card. And yes, multiple players can still help a card to meet its requirements. Once you resolve it, leave it in play. It does not get discarded. You can find these cards in a player's group, in the waiting area, or night board. But if the card is in a player's group, they must be involved in resolving the card by taking a help action. Hazard cards. Hazard cards always have at least one negative action on them, but some give you an opportunity to escape if you can pay the cost. If you can't or have no other option, you must take the negative action. You cannot ignore hazard cards. Note that most red back cards are hazards, but they can still show up in other places too, so be careful.
Oh, rock.
Action card symbols. Abilities. These are requirements in order to resolve certain actions. You just need to have the number of required symbols in your group. Payment arrows. This arrow means you must pay resources, tools, or cards to resolve an action. If you use a tool to pay for an action, you cannot use its effect. Remove a card. This symbol means you remove the card from play by placing it in the graveyard. It will not be reshuffled into the deck for the next day. It's gone. Dice. Some actions require you to roll dice and add more random requirements to an action. If you want to receive help from another player's group, you must decide before you roll the dice. If you roll the dice and cannot resolve the action, but there's a negative action on the card, you must resolve the negative action. Otherwise, you can ignore the card as usual. Crafting. This symbol allows you to craft up to that many tools from the workbench. Pay the cost of each tool, then add it to your group. Every game starts with 3 basic tools: the torch, stone axe, and spear. You can discover even more tools through idea cards along your journey. Rewards. When you resolve actions, you immediately receive the rewards shown. Some of the rewards are resources, which are placed on the base camp for everyone to use. Tool tokens, which you can discard to use its ability. And some of them give you constant abilities throughout the game. Remove wounds or skull tokens, or gain victory tokens. Human, dreams, and idea cards. And secret cards. For these, you're going to find the numbered secret card on the night board and read it aloud to all the players. Resolve it if you can, then discard it to the wilderness face up unless otherwise noted. If you help a player reveal this secret, you can also help them resolve it. For a full reference of the rewards, please refer to page 11 of the rulebook. The end. Thank you for watching. I would like to give a huge thanks to LionHeart Hobby for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description to get your copy of Paleo today. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe below. Also, let us know what you thought in the comments and if you have any suggestions for future tutorials. If you like looking at pictures, follow board game tutorials on TikTok and Instagram. Also, subscribe to our newsletter at boardgametutorials.com.